Okay, Lions, it's time for your math, and today we're going to review the dime by reading the dime book. The dime is so many people's favorite coin because we get to use our dime voice when we say the rhyme. Because what is the dime? It is little and thin. So let's put on our little and thin voice and say our rhyme. Dime, dime, little and thin. I remember you're worth 10. How much is a dime worth? 10 cents is how much a dime is worth. Let's say the dime rhyme again. Dime, dime, little and thin. I remember you're worth 10. Now I want you to say it by yourself without me saying it with you to show that you remember it. Ready? I'm going to point to the words. Did you get it? If you didn't, I want you to practice it some more later. And here is our picture of the dime. Let's find out a little bit more about the dime. Who is the president on the dime? Do you remember? His name is Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and he was the 32nd president of the United States. But there's a shorter name we can call him that's easier than Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It is just his initials, FDR. If you talk to someone and say, oh, I know about FDR, they are going to know you're talking about Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the president that is on the dime. He was our only president to use a wheelchair. Yes, he couldn't walk. He had gotten sick as a young man, and it made his legs so they didn't work. It was a disease called polio that we don't get today. So he was in a wheelchair, but that did not stop him from becoming president. He and his wife's name was Eleanor, they had 5 children, and here's what he looked like in real life. I think he looks exactly like he looks on the dime, only he's looking the opposite direction. He lived a long time ago, but not as long ago as Abraham Lincoln or George Washington. He lived when they had cameras and they could take photographs. They had electricity, so this is a real photograph of him. And this is the back of the dime. We are so lucky. The dime is not like the nickel and not like the penny or the quarter. It only has one back, and that back shows a torch in the middle, and the torch stands for liberty, which means being free to make your own choices. The word liberty is also here on the dime. All right. Another thing that is on the back of the dime is the olive branch. An olive branch stands for peace. An olive branch is just a little twig that comes off a big olive tree, and this is an olive tree. They grow to be very, very old. What grows on an olive tree? Olives, of course, and here are some olives growing on an olive tree. And in the story of Noah's Ark, the dove at the end brings Noah an olive branch after it stopped raining to show him that God was starting to make the water go away and that trees were starting to grow again. And ever since then, people have thought of the olive branch with a dove particularly, but the olive branch as a symbol of peace. There is one other little plant on the back of the dime. That is the oak. Here's an oak branch, and the oak branch stands for strength because oak trees are big and strong. What grows on an oak tree? What are these things that grow on an oak tree? They are not okra. They are acorns. Acorns grow on oak trees. And this is just a huge, strong oak tree right here. How much is the dime worth again? It says at the end of our rhyme, 10 cents. So 10 pennies equals 1 dime. Let's count these pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pennies is the same as having 1 dime. How many nickels equal 1 dime? Well, remember, each nickel is worth 5. 5. You could count by fives. 5, 10. 2 nickels is equal to 1 dime. Or you could count like there. Remember how I showed you in class there were 5 pennies hidden inside each nickel? Let's pretend like we're counting those pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 nickels equals 1 dime. 10 cents. 10 cents. Boys and girls, let's take another look at the dime. Here is a real dime. Look how teeny. Look how little and thin it is. I know. So that's so tiny. Let's not use that to look at the real dime. Let's look at my big dime. Here's Franklin Delano Roosevelt. What were his initials again? FDR. Liberty. In God we trust. And here's the year it was made. And on the back, I'm going to point to each thing and you tell me what you see. What is this? The torch, and it stands for what? Liberty. Good job. Over here, what plant is that? The olive branch, and it stands for what? For peace. And over here is the other plant we have on the back. What is that? The oak, and it stands for what? It stands for strength. Good job, boys and girls. All right. Here is my real dime. How much is the dime worth again? The dime is worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is like 10 pennies are hiding inside this dime. 10 pennies. 10 cents. This is 10 cents. This is also 10 cents. Okay. All right. And what about this? Is this the same as 1 dime? Remember, I showed you in the book. 1 nickel. And 1 nickel. Remember our plus sign? It means you put them together. It means more. How much is 1 nickel worth? Let's do this one with tally points, tally marks, just to be fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each nickel is the same as 1 group of tally marks. Equals 1 dime. 2 nickels is the same as 1 dime. So 1 dime is worth 5 and 5 is what? You know, it's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Now, what if I mix them up? What about if I had 5 pennies and I have 1 nickel? So I have 5 pennies. That's worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus, let's put plus down here too. 1 nickel. The nickel is also worth 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals, we know this, 5 and 5 equals 5 nickels. 5 pennies and 1 nickel is the same as 1 dime because 5 and 5 equals 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It doesn't matter what combination of coins you use to make 10. You can use all pennies. You can use all nickels. You can use pennies and nickels. So long as they equal 10, it is the same as a dime. 5, let's do a big math sentence, plus 5 more, remember, equals 10. And do you remember how to make that cent sign? It is a letter C with one line. C with one line through it.